Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is July 5th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see that marine layer socked in all along the coastline there. You can see it starting to burn off for some areas into the valleys right up against the coastline there as well. You can see the stratus layer extend well off into the Pacific Ocean here as the sun rises across the area. And check out the GOES 18 satellite imagery. It allows us to see that snowpack that's still going on across much of the Sierra Nevada there, causing some nuisance flooding issues there. Also helping to keep Lake Tulare going out there, and this is probably going to hang out for another year or two, and it largely depends on how much precipitation and what kind of snowpack we build up next year as well. And we could actually keep that lake going if we got another very wet winter here and a good snowpack across the higher terrain. We'll see how that shakes out though, of course. And we'll take a look at the extended forecast. Looks like we're going to warm back up here across the west coast, looking on into the week plus period. We'll take a look at those details here in a moment. On this day, Southern Cal weathered history, July 5th. Look at this, 2 tornadoes just north of the Mexico-United States border here, reported by the California Highway Patrol. That must have been an interesting sight. This is looking at the flood advisory again for the Eastern Sierra and Owens Valley. Still got that snowpack melting off there, so watch out for those cold waterways running high and fast there across much of the Eastern Sierra. Here we go. Excessive heat warning continues here. Phoenix and Tucson are included here. Highs above average here and lows not cooling off that much. Pretty typical summertime stuff though across much of the Southwest. Here we go. European last night or yesterday afternoon's run, I should say, 500 millibars here, and you can kind of see this troughing here that's given us a bit of a cool down here across the area, so at least from the temperatures we were getting in previous days. But then you can see this ridge of high pressure start to build here and back up towards the west and really set up shop here across some of California. And that's really going to warm us up here across the region. You can also see the tropical systems here. These things move along the periphery of these high pressure systems, so that's going to help steering that system off to the west there. And then if we look way off in the extent, you can kind of see this troughing moving through the Pacific Northwest, but that's way off into the future. We're not going to worry about that just yet. Right now, models are showing a pretty good ridge of high pressure, though, building over the southwest here. So we'll compare that with the GFS here in a moment. This is looking at the European. This is last night's run. This goes all the way out through 144 hours. And the main takeaway from this is maybe a couple thunderstorms, Northern California, Northern Nevada, but not much precipitation across the region, as you can see, all the way through Monday night here. This is day one thunderstorm outlook. You can see it does include Northern California, some extreme Northern Nevada there as well. Here's day two, something similar, and day three again. As you can see, the severe weather over portions east of the Rockies here. This is looking at the European versus the GFS. Let's compare this. This is 500 millibars, and let's see how both of these models evolve this ridge here as we go off into the future. You can see the troughing kind of suppressing the temperatures a bit here, giving us a little bit of a break, but then you'll notice this ridge start to build in on the European. Here it comes. There we go, 500 millibars. Big ridge building, and then you see the GFS in general agreement here. Trough remains well out over the Pacific Ocean here, and you can see both models spawning tropical systems that are going to move underneath this ridge here. Probably no threat at all, really, even to Baja California at this point here. Something just to watch in the future. But you can see both models on good agreement here with this ridge of high pressure building, and you can see the European start to bring a trough in later in the period, and the GFS much more robust with the high pressure moving all the way up towards Canada. This is looking at 850 millibar temperatures here. We got the European on the left versus the GFS on the right again. Model comparison. You can see we've got a bit, suppressing temperatures a bit here. You can kind of see that on both models, but then watch what happens here as we go through the extended a little bit more here. We really start to warm things up on the European, and the GFS just takes it to another level here as we go on in through the 10-day period. I mean, look at these temperatures aloft. Very warm all the way up the west coast here. The European is showing warmth also, but not quite as robust as the GFS there. We'll watch that over the next few days. Here we go, Sacramento. What would this mean for temperatures? Look at this. We're below normal here a little bit going through this next weekend. Then that warm up would come here. As you can see, this is the European. GFS would have something similar, maybe even a little bit warmer. This is Los Angeles. The warm up would be coming here as well with that big ridge setting up over the west coast. This is looking at total precipitation on the GFS. This goes out 384 hours. That's 16 days. So if we scroll through here again, just some scattered thunderstorm activity, Northern California, Northern Nevada, and we're going out just over 2 weeks here, and really just some sign of the North American monsoon kicking in here, but staying down across Mexico for the most part, trying to get into the southern zones there for Arizona. But right now, no big signal here for that monsoon moisture to be returning into Arizona anytime soon. We'll continue to watch that as well. This is the European. I think I've already showed this one, so that's a little bit of a duplicate there. Now we're looking at 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook, and you can see the suppression of the precipitation across a lot of Nevada and Arizona here as we go on in through July 14th. This goes through July 18th, and again with that below average signal existing there. This is 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook, and I put in here the average temperatures for this period here across the area, so you can see kind of what to expect. You can see Sacramento here at 95, Los Angeles at 78, Phoenix averages 107, Las Vegas is 105 here, so you can see what temperatures you possibly be exceeding during this time frame. Thought I'd do this here. It kind of gives you a better idea of what's coming here through the July 14th period. Now look at this. So we got June 1st here. Remember the El Nino plume here? Now we have new data here coming in. The July 1st forecast is out. So let's go ahead and check what it says. And if you watch this, actually a little bit of a bump up here on the European. So basically almost every ensemble has us moving into the strong El Nino territory here. Just a couple strays that maybe just stay into moderate here. But right now the European, I'm kind of doubling down here, saying we're moving towards a strong El Nino, and a few of these ensembles moving up towards, a very strong El Nino coming up here. But nothing we need to worry about just yet. We'll just watch this through the next few months, but it has big implications as we go into winter time here. I have done an educational video here on what to expect across Southern California here for actually the state of California during El Nino years as well. But, every El Nino year is a little bit different, and some of them don't bring what are the normal conditions. You need to highlight that. You need to make sure everybody knows that here. It's just a probabilistic forecast. Sometimes it doesn't bring what you expect it to bring. So we'll just watch it here, and we'll watch these systems play out one by one as we get closer to the fall and winter coming up here. But yeah, anyway, looks like some heat is coming here again for the West Coast. Bridge looks kind of mean on some of the model runs here. So something for us to watch here over the next few days. So anyway, hope you guys had a good 4th of July out there. Click like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.